Hello and welcome to the Things Conference 2021. My name is Elisabeth Schloten and I'm the CEO and founder of ECBM. We're an IoT and AI company based in Düsseldorf in Germany. We do IoT and AI projects from business strategy, digital transformation strategy, concept development, technical development through to operations. So we develop complete solutions for our customers. And we've been doing this for more than 3.5 years now, and we have customers in a variety of industries. This year's The Things Conference is different from last year's. We enjoyed last year's immensely, and we have to totally change the way we do things this year. You all know why, I don't have to say the word. But every crisis is also an opportunity. And I have to say, for IoT and for LoRaWAN, and generally for digitalization technologies and for digital transformation, this crisis has actually been like a booster. Microsoft and TechConsult have conducted a survey which shows that 45% of small and medium-sized companies now see digital transformation and the IoT as a very, very important part of their strategy. So why is that the case? So when you have to send your people home, when you have to close your factories, when you have to close your offices, or you have to reduce the number of people that work in a certain place, it's relatively easy for us because we've always started as a flexible company. Everyone has laptops. We have collaboration tools on our laptops. That's the easy part. But now think about operations. Think about maintenance. Think factories. Think about people maintaining machines, people maintaining infrastructure. Send these guys home, your infrastructure breaks down or your machines don't work anymore. So now comes the interesting bit. How can you actually maintain machines, run machines, control machines or your infrastructure from home? And that's where the IoT comes in. LoRaWAN is one of the technologies that has had a real boost from this. Because generally when you're in production, you already have quite a few sensors on your main machines that are connected via an Ethernet cable. But then you have all these ancillary machines, the smaller machines, the cheaper machines. The older machines, they don't come with sensors and they have to be retrofitted. And this retrofitting machines, retrofitting infrastructure with sensors and connecting those sensors has had a real boost and upside over the last year. So today I'm going to talk about 3 different areas that we have identified where the IoT can actually help in a crisis such as the Corona crisis. What we've seen is that the whole area of predictive and preventive maintenance has become a lot more important. Even just when you talk about preventive maintenance, so fixing things before they break, that has become even more important than it already was. And the movement towards predictive maintenance has gained a lot of speed. So why is that important? When you want to plan your maintenance well in advance, you can plan really well which people, how many people have to be in any one place to maintain your production. You can automate the daily processes so that you can really reduce the personnel that has to be on site. And then when you have to do a maintenance, you can plan the maintenance work orders in a way that only a few people have to be on site for a particular maintenance, then they go home and then the next ones come in. And this has become a really important factor in reducing the spreading of the virus in the production plants. But how does that actually work? So what is really important is that you understand what you have to measure to be alerted to potential malfunctioning of your equipment. That means in a lot of cases, vibration of machinery, sounds of machinery, or degradation in throughput and these sorts of things indicate that something is not quite as it should be and that a potential malfunction could happen. In a normal environment, it takes quite a long time to learn which measurements and which indicators really point to a potential machine failure. In times of COVID, we have learned to guess and to make assumptions faster and be a little bit more careful. So originally, predictive maintenance, one of the main benefits of predictive maintenance is that you can actually do less maintenance over time and save a lot of money with this. But right now the focus has changed a little bit, that you just need to make sure that you have less people in the factory, but you still get the maintenance done. So we've made some more assumptions, and there's a potential to have the same frequency of maintenance as before, but have it more focused and in the right times. So you measure the indicators that show what your machine is doing, that show what your production overall is doing, and then you show them in a dashboard, or you let an AI algorithm run over the data and regularly check it, so that you get alerts either on your dashboard or from your algorithm when something is going a little bit out of line. Another important thing in the crisis has been to actually understand the risk of infection. And there was a lot of research going on, a lot of scientific articles about how you can actually predict the risk of infection. There are models predicting how many people in a room, with how much air going through, with masks, without masks, how they will get infected, or how quickly and how many of them. So one of the things that was clear very quickly was that the virus spreads on tiny particles of liquid that come out of your mouth when you speak. That's why I'm all alone here and not with all of you in a wonderful big exhibition hall in Amsterdam. And the amount of these particles in the air, they're called aerosols, is connected to the amount of CO2 in the air. CO2 sensors are nothing new. They've existed for a very, very long time. And generally, if you have too much CO2 in the air quality is bad. People know that, but it's not been a focus of investment. Air quality in an office or in a factory has not so much been a focus of investment. But now, with COVID-19, that has changed. So this is a CO2 detector, and it's always been a CO2 detector, and it's a visual way of just showing if the CO2 content in the air is in a good quantity, or if it's too high. And when it's too high, this turns red. It's very, very simple visual representation of air quality. And the funny thing is that air quality and the risk of COVID-19 infection are actually very much correlated. So we put this into our office, and at the latest, when this goes red, we open the window. It can be so simple. And we've got this in schools, and we've got this in kindergartens and in offices. So very, very simple way to actually use IoT. This is, of course, a LoRaWAN device. Use IoT to combat the effects of Corona. So this allows us to use our offices still as needed, and at the same time keep the infection risk low. And there are other ways that we can help reduce the risk of infection. In many industrial areas, also in schools and sports areas, only a certain amount of people is allowed into each room at the moment. And how do you check this? Well, you can put someone there who counts, or you can put a people counter in there. So this is an example of a radar people counter. There are many other ways of counting people. Radar is only one of them. But again, this is a connected LoRa device. And we put this, for example, in shower rooms in a factory, because only a certain number of people is allowed into the shower room. But how do you know? There are a lot of wardrobes and walls in the room. You can't even see when you go in how many people are in there. So this counts how many people go in, how many people come out, and so you know how many people are inside. And then again, you connect the traffic light and put it on the door. And you create a dashboard. And on the dashboard, you put it on an app, and people can see before which shower room is full, which shower room is empty, where they can go to get changed before or after their shift. This is also applicable to many, many other areas. So these are some ways where technology helps to reduce the risk of infection, specifically IoT and LoRaWAN technology. We cannot kill the virus with the IoT, but we can use technology in a very smart way to reduce the risk of infection and to try to get our lives back to normal as quickly as possible. If you have any questions about any of these devices, get in touch. I look forward to seeing you all in person in 2022.